Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. This is Thursday Night Live, and we say time and danger lies ahead. The time it takes to get to those who need relief is a dangerous situation. So help Jamaica with the relief and recovery. Time is of the essence, ladies and gentlemen. It's a long haul, but there's danger ahead. Welcome to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. And we call this Thursday Night Live. Welcome. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, pray when you're going out. Pray when you're coming in. And always remember, God is in control. To start this off, we're going to ask Pastor Jake, TD Jake. We're going to reach out to him and say for a word of prayer. There's many out there who have been devastated, and there's many people who are trying to help, and there's some unscrupulous people that we got to pray for. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share my screen with you with TD Jakes so that he can pray. And God knows we need these prayers. So, ladies and gentlemen, in a moment, I'll bring that to the screen. However, the efforts still continue. The relief efforts are continuing in Jamaica. And ladies and gentlemen, you need to continue to keep the word out there in the media. There's a lot of things swirling around in the media that's trying to dampen the relief efforts, but keep it out there. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Here we go. Let's get TD Jakes to say a word of prayer.
May the strength of the Almighty God rest upon you. May the anointing of God rise up in your belly when the road gets tough. May the Spirit of God empower you with life and strength when you feel all by yourself and all alone. May God renew you like an eagle. May you present yourself like a lamb, but always have a lion in your belly. May you stand up against whatever is thrown at you, knowing that he that has begun a good work in you shall perform it to the day of redemption. May the strength of the Almighty
Ladies and gentlemen,
God.
amen. We need strength these days. We've got to have faith. We got to have patience. But let me give you some holy inspiration right now. We all need it. And some holy inspiration. I'm going to ask Morgan Freeman to help us out in that respect. So, a lot of people think that whatever you pray for, God gives you, but he may give you that opportunity to achieve it. So let me have Morgan Freeman share his thoughts with you so you can understand what I'm saying, because this is just holy inspiration for a lot of us. So ladies and gentlemen, listen and let's learn from this.
If someone prays with patience, you think God gives them patience? Or does he give them the opportunity to be patient? If they prayed for courage, does God give them courage, or does he give them opportunities to be courageous? If someone prayed for family to be closer, do you think God zaps them with warm, fuzzy feelings? Or does he give them opportunities to love each other? If someone prays for patience,
Let's
do you think God
listen to that
gives them
again.
patience? Or does he give them the opportunity to be patient? If they prayed for courage, does God give them courage, or does he give them opportunities to be courageous? If someone prayed for family to be closer, do you think God zaps them with warm, fuzzy feelings? Or does it give them opportunities to love each other?
So you understand, ladies and gentlemen, to be alive is an amazing thing right now. It's a blessing to be alive because you have the opportunity to rebuild and rebuild better. You now can learn from past mistakes, or you can implement other things that you have learned throughout this process. So give God thanks. Give God thanks for life, and also you must remain strong in your faith and keep that hope high, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of people out there who are suffering. You know, I'm going to start light and I'm going to move into some heavier stuff. Let's touch a little bit on St. Elizabeth, a famous place that, some people may have been over the years, down in Treasure Beach. Just to remind you that there's still a lot of damages in Jamaica, and there's a lot of people that need help. So if you remember the shorelines of along Jake's in Treasure Beach, there it is no longer what it was, but they're working their way back to get things to some kind of normalcy, and this is what we have to do. Time is running out. When it comes to aid and so on, it only lasts for so long and it can only go so far. So not everybody's gonna get help. The damage is enormous. It's big. However, there's a process to get to you, and we have to remain patient. In the meantime, unity is strength. You got to build together. Join in groups and help each other, help those who can't help themselves, and help each other to come back quicker and stronger. Don't sit around and wait and complain and be angry. This is not the time. Time is running out. You gotta, the rains, the hurricane season is not over. The rains have come, as you can see, over the last couple of days. There has been rain, and you still have a lot of people who are in the elements and in places that are cut off, as you can see from. I'll show you a few videos of what's going on down there. However, there's other people who are trying to help as well. They got to prepare and send stuff down there, and it is ongoing. Do not blame the government. You can't ask the government what it can do for you. You must say to yourself, what can you do for Jamaica and for the people who cannot help themselves? You've got to go out there now, gather your strength, unite as a team and as a family, and go out there and help people. There's a lot of people doing that. So I'll show you a few. Let's start here and move our way into some other stuff. So here we go.
So if you know Jack Sprat, a lot of us ate food under this shelter, which is no more. All the tables were here. But they're currently actually on the ground doing stuff with the fishermen and getting boats to remote areas. They just opened for business on Tuesday. Yeah. So this is Jack Sprat right now. So if you know,
so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. At least they've cleaned up and they're trying to get things back in order, so that they have opened. So there's a lot of people who do not have that opportunity right now, and I'm telling you, it's amazing what's going on. Let's check out and I'm trying to work my way into this. This is a member of the House of Representatives in Jamaica. This is Nikisha Birchman. Yeah. Burchell, Nikisha Burchell. Let's get her up here to tell you what's going on in her constituency. So everybody's hurting. Here we go. Let's get that on the screen. Share that. And we'll get that going in a second for you guys. This is what's happening in her constituency. Let's move that on the screen.
20 cut off. We made a plan last night and we waited for hours to find a way in. Eventually, we decided to try the path of least resistance, which took us through Long Hill, Roehampton, Mafuta, into Mount Horeb, Fern, and ultimately we're aiming to get to Cambridge. At the same time, Council Gordon had a team that was making their way from Stonehenge towards Cambridge to meet us halfway. Our goal was to reach those in greatest need, to deliver some food to them, and to check on the shelters and assess medical emergencies and reconnect communities that have been completely cut off since Melissa, the merciless, passed through. We're also working to open a path from Mount Horeb through Barnet Bush to Springfield, Barnesfield, Maroontown, Garlands, Moko, Arcata. Garlands is my home, where my parents, my brother, they are still marooned. We haven't heard from them since the storm. And many of you are in the same position, waiting to hear from loved ones. Please know that I'm trying to get to them. And I will update you whenever I can connect, even briefly, like I'm doing now, through someone's Starlink. There's only a narrow, very precarious lane open through Long Hill up to Montpelier. Beyond that, the stretch toward Copper is completely blocked. Concrete light poles are down, strewn across the road. And near the Copperwood Community Center, those who made it out on foot told us that a flooded sinkhole has covered the road, about 6 or so feet high, they tell me. Even if we clear the poles, we can't pass until the water recedes. So we're focusing on the Anchovy, Roehampton, Mafuta route. Along that path, the destruction is widespread. Homes, shops, bars, gone. Landmarks we once knew are now unrecognizable. At Anchovy High School, 3 men are still sheltering there under a blown-off roof. And no food or means to cook. So we're arranging meals for them. Today we're cooking at Miss Bebb's in Lawsley and distributing from a little kitchen there to whomever we can reach. Roehampton Primary, Refuge Apostolic Church also lost their roof. Clinic in Roehampton flattened, gone. And we still can't reach Bickerstead Primary. You remember the Spring Bottom community that I showed you some time ago, where that beautiful well once stood? The whole community is now underwater, submerged, families displaced. An elderly man is there who urgently needs medical attention. He's at Rasta Matty's home in the Buena Vista area near Spring Corner, Spring Bottom. He has a detached catheter and urinal bag and it's bleeding. And he needs to get out. Only a small boat can reach him. And in the midst of all of this devastation, something gave me hope last night. A young man was riding his bike, desperate to reach a nurse in Normandy. He was coming from Fern. His girlfriend there, keen to have baby. We helped to lift the bike over the poles, to clear the path, and got him food. So you see, in the middle of that storm, there was still a little hope. There was still love. But that little baby is who we're fighting for. I just hope, as I said, that they don't name the baby Melissa. Tick it up. So far, we're aware of a woman in Carlton who is still inside her car. She died. She needs to be airlifted out urgently. Another body was in the ball ground area. Last I spoke, I don't know, a local funeral home was trying to get to them. I don't know where they're going to store the body. And in Blue Hole, a man is believed to still be inside his home. He died during the storm and no way to reach him. This is the reality of rural life after disaster. I want to thank those who've been working around the clock to clear the roads and reconnect our communities. Reese and the crew from Stonehenge, Garnet and the team that is pushing through Springfield to Maroon Town, the bikers and the men in Lawson, Roehampton, Mafuta, who didn't know where they were going to sleep last night, but they were clearing the road. And Styles, who has been out clearing the roads, supplying food to those who need it. Without pay, without food, without knowing where they're going to lay their heads, they were looking out for their neighbors. That is the true spirit of South St. James. That is what gives me hope. I know that hospitals and commercial areas have to be prioritized. But when we're ready for the conversation, I want you to know that rural people matter too. We need food, medicine, communication, and dignity for our dead. We cannot continue to be the last to get relief every time. I will continue to lobby for a proper rural disaster response plan and also a development plan for us that ensures our communities are not left behind again. Melissa came straight for us in deep rural, and we deserve a response that reflects that reality. We need the helicopters here. We need the resources where they're truly needed. Not for show, not for PR, not to fly over, but to get food to our people, to connect to our communities, and to get our dead to morgues. This is the hardest thing I've had to witness, but it has strengthened my resolve. We will rebuild, we will recover, and we're going to do it together. I'll keep updating you whenever I can connect. Stay safe, South St. James. I'm on my way. I'm coming to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, truly an amazing effort from the lady there, Nikisha Birch is, what's her name? Nikisha Burchell. She's, I think, in the House of Representatives in Jamaica, and she's moving around, and she's laying it out to you to see that the disaster is real. You know, things may be normal in certain places because they've been able to get back to normal quickly, but there's a side of Jamaica that the whole entire western section of Jamaica is in ruins. Deads are still out there in the open, and that they cannot get to them just yet. It's you have people without roofs; they're sleeping in the elements, and we got to look at this from the Nikisha Burchell. She was in the House pleading with the government, the Prime Minister, to allocate some resources to those areas. So I want you to
so
check
wide
this out.
and so glaring that we have not seen that kind of treatment that you laid out for us here today. So we didn't see the JDF people rappelling down from ropes and bringing food to the people in these remote communities. We did not see the JDF and the JCF and the NWA and all these agencies.
Madam Speaker, most of us appreciate English language and understand similes and metaphor, but you'll get there. No, Madam Speaker. No, Madam Speaker, Prime Minister, and thank you. I was speaking to the reports you were receiving. I'm certain you did not go there and collect that information yourself, but you're relying on those in the field to provide you with information so you can make the best decisions. And I'm saying that what was shared here today doesn't reflect the reality we had on the ground in South St. James. As someone who walked across the constituency from Wednesday until Sunday and returns there tomorrow, I speak as their mouthpiece to say to you, Prime Minister, that what you have received, consider, or will you consider that it may be embellished and not truly reflective of what we're experiencing? That's a question. My next question is about the scale of the damage and inadequate allocations. And I want to thank you and thank your cabinet for considering that $10 million allocation to a constituency like South St. James. But when you get a chance, and I know you have a long list of places to go, Prime Minister, will you consider coming to South St. James and these constituencies on foot this time and see for yourself the scale of the damage? I know that data is not our strong point in Jamaica. We don't collect enough data to show you that 5 or 10 or whole communities have been wiped out. And the speaker, the leader of government business can tell you, because he's from Moko, that Moko don't exist anymore. The houses have been flat. I don't know where to start with $10 million. And I'm asking that you do not apply a one-size-fits-all budget or purse to constituencies that have been totally demolished by devastating Melissa. That you come in, not by yourself, but with the technocrats, with those from Mona Geologics, with those who actually, not the politicians, they're just noise. I want you to consider, Prime Minister, to come in with the technocrats and see for yourself, because I don't know where to begin with $10 million. And my final question, Madam Speaker, to you, Prime Minister, is compensation and recognition for community responders. For me, I heard when you mentioned, Prime Minister, about all of these agencies that went in and did all of these beautiful things in the constituencies, supported by the men and women on the ground. I wish for you to understand that from our perspective, it was the entire another way around. It's 180 degrees. It was the men and women from the constituencies who went in first, second, and third to clear the way so that they could come in. And I want you to consider, or will the Prime Minister consider, that the stimulus package that you proposed be thought out in a way that not only the big contractors who come in with their trucks and their tractors from parishes in St. Thomas and Kingston get the big bucks, but consider, Prime Minister, that these people who use them saw, them hoe, them machete to clear a path be given some of the big bucks too, and not just the crumbs after they have swallowed up the bulk of it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's many sections of the country that are ailing, and it's the local people that are really making the effort to reach others in hard to reach places that the rescue helicopters cannot land because there's so much debris and rubble, and the terrain is not accommodating to that kind of rescue. But the roads have been cut off because of erosion, and you can see. Let me kind of show you some stuff here. I'm gonna touch into a compound town. Let's get a compound up here.
Kampong has been significantly affected. Approximately 80% of homes are uninhabitable. Either the roofs are totally torn off or the structures have been totally obliterated. As you look around, you will see the ravage that was caused by the hurricane. It was a very violent storm, almost a giant tornado, which is the description that most persons have given. And the sheer velocity of the wind and the projectiles, I think there are a lot of persons, particularly elders, that are still in a kind of a trauma. They're very shaken up. So not only do we have a few physical injuries. We also have persons suffering mentally from the displacement and just the sheer violence of that storm. The relief has been coming, and it has been coming steadily. We have had the ability to go into some of the districts because the men in the adjoining districts, including Akompong, were very assiduous in getting the roads clear, and very diligent in taking the time and making the effort. Right, we've been distributing a lot of tarpaulins to help those without roofs, to at least provide some temporary solution that they can actually go back into their spaces and not have their personal items damaged more than they already are. So we look forward to the continued support and communication in this great humanitarian effort that's required for the western part of Jamaica.
It was a nightmare. Just inside and just see the roof just blow up. So you just run to safety, go in the bathroom. Where the bathroom is deck, so you go in there for shelter and cover. Yes, traumatized. Even till today, the roofing, the zinc came off. And the utensils and the bed and everything in there wet, and some get damaged. Like the toasters and those, those full of water, so those cannot be used again. The appliances, most of the appliances are wet and damaged. And the breeze blows some of them off, so some get damaged, and the Chester jar, them full of water. Most of the clothes them damaged because clothes run pan clothes. Water full up the jar and so on, and some of the table them turn over. The dishes them blow away and so on. We keep up, we have faith, we have life. We trust in God. And we have loved one out there who reach out and give you a helping hand. The problem what we kind of have though is the internet. We need internet where we can reach out to a loved one more often.
I want to tell the truth, say, boy, Melissa, you know, say, really and truly, me never run before in my life. And trust me, Melissa make me have to run. My all stop gone. You know what I mean? Me lose everything, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is life. You know what I mean? Because once there is life, there is hope. So this is what's going on. We don't lose any life during the hurricane or during the storm. We don't lose any life, so we are unite and get together as one. You know what I mean? Make sure that everyone can eat. You know what I mean? As a sovereign state. You know what I mean? We realize, say, boy, now is the time, you know, for us to get together. You know what I mean? And unite as one.
So here at the distribution center, what we do on a daily basis, we provide 1 to 2 hot meals, right, for the elderly, the young ones, and for the single mothers, right? Those are the priority individuals, generally for the community, right? So we do that once, sometimes 2 times per day, and that helps with, you know, easing some of the burden. Persons have nowhere to really cook. Their houses have been destroyed, so this is like a central hub for distribution and meals. And whatever comes through here, whether they're packaged and redistributed to other territories who need them. We try to ensure that the home base is covered, and then we fan out and try to see how much assistance and aid we can bring to other districts. One of the key implementations we have been successful in doing is the connectivity, reconnecting loved ones with their families externally with mobile Starlink systems, right? We started doing this from last year in Beryl. We found out it was a very useful piece of equipment to have. So we continue to solicit more Starlink units. We got a few small ones from aerial recovery, which we're mobilizing as we do our drops. We have one set here at the distribution center. We have another that we do mobile drops with a vehicle, so it's a mobile system. And when we stop to do distribution, we set up for an hour or so, allow persons to connect and make calls to their loved ones.
Hi, my name's Jess Sharman. I'm with the organisation All Hands and Hearts, and I'm in the area of Akompong, which is in the St Elizabeth parish of Jamaica, where we have delivered off 2 trucks of essential items, food, water, tarps, and a Starlink to support the community in this area following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa.
Okay.
All Hands and Hearts are an international disaster relief organisation. We work in a number of countries around the world, supporting in the immediate response following all types of disasters and in the long-term recovery. So our motto is arrive early, stay late. So we try and get in as soon as we can to support communities affected by disaster, and then stay as long as there is need and that we have capacity to. We've done quite a few assessments in different areas. We did a similar delivery of aid down to Treasure Beach in St Elizabeth Parish. As an organisation, we're working with their breads, are using that as a location to support wider communities in Parity and in other locations in St Elizabeth Parish. We've also visited that river and seen the extensive damage that has been caused there. And in the coming days, we hope to reach more communities and support in any way that we can. We were in direct conversation with the chief and with others in the area, so we could make sure that the stuff that we were bringing here met the needs of the community. We take that approach as an organisation. There's a lot of organisations who pre-prepare supplies, which is super necessary in many areas, but we like to speak to the communities, ask specifically what they need, and then try and procure those items for them.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Time is of the essence. Danger is ahead. The help is not going to be there forever, so we got to unite and unite now and unite strong, to get this recovery on the road real quick. I mean, there's so much to be done, and it's such a wide area, so you have to work together and unite all the efforts to bring back some sort of normalcy to the country, and do it quickly. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me add also look at this video here from, I think there's
and heavy rains last night. I am marooned for now. I live in the Cascade area. The road from Kew to Pondside is impassable. Sandy Bay is bad as well. Lots of debris blocking the main road. I am already in dialogue with NWA. I am trying to get out of my community. I can only leave on a bike. Houses are down again. There is one house in Cascade that came down with a landslide. So I am on my way now to see what is happening down in Sandy Bay. I can't say where else we have damages, but for now I can tell you that I am not expecting good news when it comes on to the hilly interiors of Eastern Hanover. I am awaiting news from those areas, from Woodsville, from Pondside, Castlehyde. I haven't been able to hear anything just yet. We had high winds and heavy rain.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, it's difficult to reach certain areas. As the videos come in, I'll share them with you. Check this out. This is going into Newcastle, where the Jamaica Defense Force training camp is. And check this out. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. I'm telling you, it is amazing. Let me bring that back on the screen there. It jumped off. So hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share that with you again.
Big heavy something. Get up. You don't know which way walk to a coffee place, and then come down right here, so. You then come down right
Let's
here, so.
back this up a little bit. Here we go.
Right here, so then come down.
Here we go. There it is.
See them? You see the switch and walk. Because as you can see, there's no road. So see them a while ago walk, get them some jump. So they get some heavy jump. You don't know where they find road, they make road. As you can see, there's none here. None of the here. It's all gone. So right there, so now they make a road. Look up some big heavy something. Get up. You don't know which way they walk to a coffee place. And then come down right here, so. So then come down right here, so. Right here, so then come down. And then continue down. I guess the van or the truck, the army truck coming for them. Because I had some big blow drum. I don't know if I know water because it was a water place. More likely maybe some sort of, I don't know, whatever. House, everything gone. Them get on the drum them, and gone back. Then life hard, brother Andrew. Yeah, hope I do something for soldier them because this don't look good. I'm gonna walk too far. So I say I'm gonna walk with the load. So Andrew, my boss, you go myself. If I do something for the soldier them, your boss, eh? Yeah, man, the life hard, man. So then come back, okay, I'm big long. You know, for Newcastle, the fire, man. Good God, man. And I'm carry load a while ago. So boss Andrew, there's something be done them saying. Okay, let's tell you. Up in the Blue Mountain, hungry will kill you. So you can't thirsty. You can drink water till the belly bust to the shine. You're hungry, can't thirsty.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's leading up to Newcastle, the JDF training ground. The road has been cut off. You see the landslide. Homes are gone, and so on. It's horrendous when you see the devastation all around the country. So let's move on to the next video that shows another home in this is South Trelawney, which it disappeared from the landslide took it away. And this was a mega storm of immense proportions, and I'm telling you, this was normal. So like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. Keep these videos in the media because it is not over. There's still a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen, and you got to help your fellow Jamaicans to recover. So here we go.
And I realized that they switch pipes.
Let me bring that
How you
back.
survive this?
That took me out. I was in the building and I realized that the switch pipes at the back were cracking up. And I went to the end of that second floor.
Yeah.
I looked up the step and I realized the step were bursting coming down. And I never even had time to lock back the grill.
Says you alone live here?
Yes, I live on the second floor down there. And I never had time to lock the grill, not even the shop grills when I came up. And when by the time I reached up here, I realized there was a ditch between the road and the property.
Mighty God.
It was already cracked straight across. I had to just jump over.
So how you reach up?
The step was cracking up while I was coming up. So I had to run up on the same step because that's the exit.
The road is
the shop was at the road level. People could drive onto the piers, drive and just buy and go back.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear what they just said? If you see down in the dip where the house kind of caught on the cliff face there, it was at where they're standing right now, and it left from there and slid down the entire building. So let's continue to listen.
in their vehicles.
So the
just up
entire
here,
structure come down.
everything went down. From here up here, the road level to where it is now. I had a building plan. A plan was passed by parish council. So I honestly, I was told by Mr. Shaw that this is a fault area, sitting on a fault line.
So before that approved, them never know that.
I don't know. Apparently, there was no judges who come to test the sign.
So the entire, you can see the entire land right across.
This is a fault line. All of it's a fault line.
My God, ladies and gentlemen, it's terrible to see the devastation that has taken place. And in my previous video, I said there's an X factor to this devastation. That now that things are going to be rebuilt, the planning has to be right. Everything has to be planned in such a way that you compensate for these kind of events. So therefore, where there's landslide, there's certain buildings. Buildings have to be planned in such a way that you mitigate certain risks, and also the infrastructures have to be in place to layer those lands to avoid landslides. Know what I mean? So, sorry, this is the X factor, I call it. So let's look at also the mining industry has suffered also, and that's a form of revenue for Jamaica. That's off the grid right now. So they're suffering in more ways than one. And I want to bring you a little video on that, just to have you see what's going on here. It's widespread, ladies and gentlemen. So the country has been crippled. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, Hurricane Melissa deals a $40 billion blow to the mining sector, and that's what they've assessed in early in this their assessment. You can expect those numbers to be adjusted as they continue to assess the entire country to see what the real value of the damage is. So these are only early days, ladies and gentlemen. So, at this point, we say time is of the essence. You got to remember that there's, as I said in previous podcasts, there is phases to this. See, the relief came in to help those who are most vulnerable, and up till now they haven't finished that phase one element yet. The helicopters that are delivering the aid, they won't be around forever. The aid workers from El Salvador and many other parts of the world, they have a time frame to them. So, and all that relief and recovery by outside players, there's a time limit to that. This is why you have to unite strong and move quickly to use up all those options that are available now, because the long haul is rebuilding and recovering. So over the long term, you're still gonna need resources. However, you gotta try to get as much things as possible done in terms of helping those who can't help themselves, get things, the roads going. The government has to take care of that. It's a huge area. You know, it's the entire country had some damage at some level or the other. So we ask also the world and the diaspora to continue to send in all the aid that you can, all the support you can, the monies you can right now. You got to keep it coming. It's going to be a long-term event to recover. The relief is long-term also, because remember, you have the mining areas out of action. A lot of businesses out of action. So there's no place to work or to earn. So we got to keep supporting the relief and recovery effort. So I'm going to dive into some of the things that have been going on. And I'm saying at this point in time, it is no time to be arguing and fussing and getting angry. Action speaks louder than words. Let's move into action and unite. There's a lot of stuff going on we can deal with later on. I know there's a few things that were swirling around in social media. Yeah. That also, we got to say, be careful of what you say now. You do not want to discourage the efforts that are being that are in motion now to help the country. If there are unscrupulous people out there, there's a process you have to follow, and you got to follow that order. And I'll when I touch this video, I'll discuss how you go about things and take it out of the limelight, because there's a lot of people getting ready to help, and it can discourage them. So you got to be careful of what you're saying, and you follow the process in order to, if there's something wrong, there's a way to go about it. But on this end of the shores of the overseas, when we hear it and what is going on down there, it can be discouraging to a lot of people. So you got to be absolutely careful of what you post out there online. Go about things in a diplomatic way. There's still channels open. If something is wrong, there's channels to get the answers you need, especially if you're connected. Because some people that are talking are extremely connected, and they can spend that time to deal with it through the right channels. And also, you got to understand that the priority is to get to the people who need help right now. That's the priority, to get access to those areas. That's the priority, and we need to be concentrating on that, not concentrating on certain other things that can be dealt with later on. You get what I'm saying? I understand what the urgency is, but there's a time and place and a way to go about things. So let's kind of touch into this, because I saw this come up, and I wanted to address it because it's not a good look, you know. So let me bring that on the screen if I have it lined up, and let's see where it is. I'm going to get that on my screen in a second. And, you know, I just wanted, here we go. Let's get this up here.
Right? Them come on a cargo plane, Dunce Head. Right? And I'm thieving brother and thieving family over the work at the airport. We don't understand. So when things are do things on them hard, you think up. What do you think up here though? You think a terrible long life we up here live, I want them Luman life they up here live. We're working hard and we're trying to do things to the country, and we're doing that the cargo come. Right? First and foremost, take forever for you with the cargo. Right? And when the cargo come out and we start looking to the cargo, Starlink missing, stove missing, all kind of blood missing, and the barrel them half empty. See, nothing never happened to Kingston. There's no reason for nobody at Kingston for your teeth, nothing from the people of Jamaica. You understand me? But I saw on the stay one of a dirty crowbeard reptile. I should have come in and come go to some scandal back because that's what deserve. You know? You die straight. So we have a thief from poor people and thief from people who go through such a hard time. Who not broken at the.
So you get the gist of what's going on there. And I'm saying when certain people speak, it reverberates around the globe quickly. It goes viral. However, in circumstances like this, you got to be careful how you address certain things. I'm not taking sides here, but I'm saying you got to be absolutely careful because you got to look at the bigger picture. Let's look at the response. One of the responses from Minister Vaz, and I listened to one of his voice notes that when he said, "This person knows me, he knows how to get in contact with me. Don't do things like this. Contact me and I'll look into it." But he had a stronger response in this. Let's look at it. Let's look at it, ladies and gentlemen. It's let me bring it on the screen right now, and then we can talk about it afterwards. I'll just try to find it here. I think I've got it somewhere lined up. Oh, here it is. So I just got to get it from onto my screen right now. So here we go. So this is Minister Vaz responding. However, he made a strong response in this here, but this is not what we're looking for.
Let me take time out just to indicate that there was an unfortunate post yesterday by a musician indicating that there were some wrongdoings in relation to the cargo that came for relief. While I welcome all efforts and attempts for persons to help in small, medium, and large ways, fact of the matter is that we must have an accountable system. And I want to publicly state today, without fear of contradiction, that I did an overnight investigation, including cameras and including the custom broker who handled the shipment. And I want to make it very clear that the shipment left the airport intact as it came, fully wrapped, and everything that was there left the airport in the custody of the charitable organization. It went to a warehouse in Spanish Town, which the government has no involvement in whatsoever. So as far as what we did in terms of making sure that the goods that were meant for the people, the poor suffering people, were delivered. And I want to thank all of the airport staff that continue to work so tirelessly under the worst strain and pressure to make sure that we manage all of these cargo flights in a smooth and efficient manner. I am the first one to say that it's not perfect because we are now overburdened with more flights than we normally expect. However, we are doing our best, and I'm going to ask for everybody to please just do what you are doing and do so in the best interest of the people of Jamaica, and do not cause mischief or nuisance, because I will be there to defend the government as long as it is on the seaside or the port side.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to bring that to your attention to say that this is not the time to be blaming the government. This is the time for unity and action. And as it states, that time is against us. Time is of the essence, and there's danger in front of us. There's so much danger that we have to now unite, put our efforts together, bring our equipments together, bring our expertise together, and begin to rebuild now while we have that help. If there's something wrong, if you see something wrong, there's channels to go through to get that information out there. But do not, spread it around the world when you can go directly to the source, to certain sources that will deal with that kind of a situation. When you look at it from overseas, as I said, it does not look good. You got to be careful what you're saying, because it can turn away the help that the country needs. Look at the bigger picture. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not easy. The country has been devastated. And the danger that lies ahead, remember, the farming basket of the country is down. Mining is down. Everything, workplaces are devastated. Roads are cut off, they're gone. Entire neighborhoods are gone. The workforce has been cut. There's so much that needs to be done over the long term that we do not have the time to be bickering amongst ourselves, getting angry, jumping on social media. We got to put our shoulders to the wheel, unite, and begin the recovery and help those who can't help themselves. This is almost 2 weeks on now. It's 2 weeks on, ladies and gentlemen. And some areas you can't get to them. What are you doing? You can't be bashing the government and saying, what can they do for me? Ask yourself, what can you do for the people of Jamaica and Jamaica? Combine your efforts. This is the time to unite. Get it done. Work a solution until the government gets in play. The amount of money it will take to bring the country back to normal it far exceeds the GDP of the country. What the country will ever make in 10 or 20 years. Goodness gracious me. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, the magnitude of this problem? It's time to unite, and let's put certain things behind us. Unite. Each one help one. You get what I'm saying? Okay, that's Manuel Soros. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not easy. And let's move on to the next video. And Manuel, I'll get back to you in a second. And we're gonna look at the help that we're getting right now. I wanted you to check this out. This is one of the U.S. helicopters. And this is one of the scenes that we saw going on here. So check this out. Let's get that started here. Let's move this. Here we go. Let's bring that to our screen. Check this out. Let's move it forward. So, do you know how much it costs to operate one of these things? If you ever understand the cost of operating one of these things, and one of these helicopters, these Apache helicopters, U.S. Apache helicopters, it costs a lot to operate one of these things, and they won't be around forever. So we got to utilize this help while we can and do what we can to complement what they're doing. So let's check this out. This is an aid being dropped at a location in Eastern Hanover. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the soldiers are coming in to unload this massive helicopter with aid for that section of Jamaica. And we say it's a beautiful thing from the U.S. government. We say hats off to the Trump administration for that help. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me. So we have also local people who are assisting. You know, those who can do them 1 and 2. You know what I mean? It's been going on. And let's look at, let's see, Vibes King. He's trying to get some assistance to coordinate some help to reach the country of Jamaica. I want him to say it in his own words. So he's saying, all right, let me put him on the stage first, and then if you know Vibes Scheme, he does a lot of he's on social media. He's a social media influencer, and here he goes. Listen to him.
There is anybody in the parish of Westmoreland that has information on a credible organization that is on the ground in Westmoreland, helping the people out there, please have them reach out to me ASAP. I know of this organization within the States that is trying to send help to the people of Westmoreland. They want to help with the essentials, you know, food, water, all of that. So if you know of an organization, please have them reach out to me ASAP. You know, we need to help the people of Petersfield, Bastard Cedar Walk, Savlamar, surrounding areas, all those places. So please have somebody reach out to me ASAP. Thank you guys so much.
So you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. You know how to get to him on the websites. Check him out, you know. That's a beautiful gesture. So reach out to him if you have anyone on the ground. I know there's a lot of charity organizations down there, churches and so on. Get involved. Reach out to Vibes Scheme, and Vibes Scheme, go on the social media, you know, your WhatsApp, what do you call it, your TikTok or Facebook. He's on there. He's all over the media. You know what I mean? So that's Vibes Scheme. Go back to the announcement. You'll see it on the bottom left-hand corner how you can reach them. So, ladies and gentlemen, also we had a young man on a bike. He's on social media as well. Has no home, but he chose to reach out and help others. And I'm telling you, it's such a beautiful gesture to see what he's doing. I had to bring this up. It's called Such and Such Homestead Jamaica. That's his handle on social media. You may have seen it, but I had to bring it here. It's heart-wrenching to see what he's doing, and he has nothing. Here we go.
Some people stuck on a Dumfries. The one of them places that they got cut off from Montego Bay, so they cannot come out to get food and so forth. If they had to come out there to go all the way to Chulan, which road is already bad. So I'm going to go around here now. There's a person that follow me on TikTok. Her name is Radika. I'm actually on my way straight to her, and this is where bike could have fit. I can't drive the car because there's no road for the car to drive. So this is where the bike could have fit. So me one case of water, I'm gonna put some case of water in my some single water in my knapsack, and this is a whole case of sausage, a whole case of sardine, and a whole case of bully beef. This bike could have hold. The bike can't hold nothing more. The bike not even right good. But the people they want help. People they want help. People they want help. We cannot wait for aid. Aid, everybody's trying to go down to the worst place that got hit to take pictures. I am boots on the ground, and the people them need stuff like right now. Me no want nobody tell me no foolishness. See my house there. See my house. The tent is what I sleep in. That other blue tarpaulin down there, sir, that's my house. But them say, when I want help, you must first start to serve. Serve. If you're in a one position where you don't know what to do next, serve. Do for others. Do for others. Do for others. Do for others. I'm just about to hit the road now. I'm going to ride all the way from Westmoreland to go to Montego Bay, to go to Dumfries and them place there. And when me can give, me can give. When me can carry, me can carry. So the bike can't carry nothing more. So the whole fully bike will turn over with me. I want to strap this. Today, set a rack. Dumfries where I go. People they want goods, people they want stuff. Link in my bio. If you want to donate, Cash App, Zelle. Cash App, Zelle. Cash App, Zelle. If you're local in Jamaica, there's NCB and there's Scotiabank. If you don't have it, send prayers. Send prayers. Send prayers. The people don't want help. See, I just bought one whole carload of food. Look, it done. It done. See the couple sachets left, and half case of water left. Half case of water left. The money where people them send me to come for buy 2 pieces of board to build up my house, I help me take a buy food. When you send help. Send help. Send help. Yo, you have some people, some elderly people, they didn't eat all from yesterday. Send help. Send help.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen, the appeal of a man who doesn't even have a home. This is amazing. And we say, give God thanks to spare his life. He has no home. His home is demolished. But yet still, the little he has, he's sharing with he's spreading the love, and he's jumping on his bike just to reach some people that can't even help themselves, and they're cut off. I'm showing you these things to keep it in the media. It is a devastating situation down there in Jamaica, and time is of the essence because the danger is at hand. Dead bodies lie in buildings that are unreachable at this point. Places that cannot be reached by roads or helicopter because there's nowhere to land on that terrain. The danger is at hand, ladies and gentlemen. The sick and the elderly, the young children, continue to help. Send in those aid. Send in your money. Send in the food and so on. You have until the end of December to get it in there through the Jamaica Customs. I'm going to touch on that in a few minutes. I wanted to touch on another gentleman who is also lending a hand. He's out there around the country doing what he can to help those who can't help themselves. I want to bring that to the stage because it is a mega storm. Hurricane that tore into Jamaica in such a way that it will take years for Jamaica to rebuild. Keep like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Keep this in the news, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to take a very, very long time for things to get back to normal. It will take a very, very long time. Let's listen to Marvin Little Fire, they call him, and let's check him out, see what he has to say.
Big up yourself. Yes, you know what I mean? My hometown, Bowers Drive. She called me, she said, Marvin, I have a lot of shirts. I have one, but I never have them tagged. See, tag them there. Brand new, whole heap. All right. Sadly, her husband passed, and these were some stuff, brand new stuff, and what have you. And she said, me, I gonna donate them. When I give them a brand new, good stuff, very good condition. And she said, listen, you know what I'm gonna do, Marvin? We are gonna cook some food. I'm gonna give her 100 food. The carry down, so she not 100, but she go close. So we come this morning. We have one box here, so I'll see another box here, another box in here, so. So I am very grateful for people who are putting in the work. I just got another call that some persons are putting together some food and some dry food. So we're gonna pick up that, headed by the Chinese Benevolent Association to pick up some packages where they have cases of water, over 50 cases of water in the truck. We have some other stuff that we packaged out. We're coming Maroon Town. Yes, we're going to Maroon Town again. People from Cambridge, Maroon Town. There are a number of places that are cut off. There are some people in St. Ann that reached out to me. It's a farming community and nobody's looking after them. I don't know what has happened to the councillors and to the MPs, but for us to have been such a country who we are organized when it is time for election, it is very sad to know that people have to be calling out to saying, John Brown have not reached here, or Mary Sue have not yet reached us. Why is it we're not organized to the point where each councillor can give a report of their area, and then the government, of course, use that information to send aid to all these places? It is not flipping hard.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I understand the frustration for Marvin, but it's not business as usual. Roads are cut off, communities are leveled, transportation is down. There's so much to do that we cannot stop to vent our frustration. Let's deal with that afterwards because time is of the essence. We got to be careful what we put on social media. At this point in time is to show unity, because unity is strength. What you're doing is commendable, and we say hats off to you, and we pray for each and every one who is helping. Put in your, keep helping, donating, like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Share this to the world. You got to keep that spirit alive to help those who can't help themselves. It's going to take a very, very long time for Jamaica to come back to normal. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Menacing Melissa. It was a Category 5 like you've never seen it before. But the government, the people all around, they're doing what they can to assist in this devastation. All around the world, there's people helping. But we're going to keep it in the media. So we keep that strength alive out there to say that, yes, this is not over. It's that it has only just begun. Let me share with you what the Jamaica Customs said on Smile Jamaica. let's bring that to you so you can understand how to deal with coming through the shipping in your stuff. So let's get that going, and then we'll move on to other stuff. Here we go.
Say this barrel coming for relief, or this barrel just accompanied 2 jackets and 2 shoes and things. So how what should we do if
let's start that again.
Barrel always a come.
Yes, always
in a serious way. Yes. So how say this barrel coming for relief, or this barrel just accompanied 2 jackets and 2 shoes and things. So how what should we do if that's what we want?
Well, the government has approved relief of items up to the end of this year, and these are specified items, things like bed linens, clothing, non-perishable food, mattress, and so forth. Some of the base generators is on it. The styling kit, many persons are appreciative of that. That's now one of the primary means of communication for persons on that end. Inverters as well, solar panels and batteries, and a number of other items that are listed on our website. So these will benefit from relief from import duties and also GCT.
But again, sir, a number of those things would have come normally. I mean, people would send clothes and stuff normally. So again, back to the question, how that this
so
is
persons
specific.
now who are sending these as relief items, there's a small declaration that they will need to sign to. It states that these are for relief and for those persons. And that is on our website. They just simply copy that, sign it. So it's a declaration saying that these are relief items, and that will be it. And they'll be exempt from those fees.
What is the state of the wharf now and your ports of entry? I can only imagine.
Right. Well, the ports in Kingston, they're up and running, and that includes the warehouses. But on the other end in Montego Bay, those ports and facilities have suffered some damage. But the repair works are being done, and of course, persons are now trying to resume services. That includes us, of course. The main issue is power.
Yes.
Right, because you're talking about an entire facility, and it requires communication, it requires power to ensure that services can be delivered there. So we're coordinating that with the operators, the Port Authority as well, and trying to get back up and running on those ends.
And so in terms of the traffic now, which is what I was really asking, thank you for that though, because that's important to note. In terms of the traffic now coming in, what have you seen relative to, your baseline of what usually comes in?
Right, so the activities in Kingston are at a peak, of course. Goods coming into Kingston are normally moved coastwise to the port handlers facility. The air cargo facility as well in Montego Bay, that has suffered some damage, but there is a rerouting of those.
Everything is coming into Kingston.
Through Kingston, right. Wow. They have started receiving commercial flights in Montego Bay as well, but again, there's some damage to some of the facilities.
Mr. Williams, some people might want to send stuff directly to a hospital or maybe to a school as opposed to me or Simone, because, is it the same thing that obtains for that, or that would be something different?
Right. So we do have a body that's set up specifically for that for the schools. It's the National Education Trust, NET. And of course, they represent charitable donors, persons who are sending. Of course, we know that, as was mentioned before, over 600 schools are damaged. And so that is coordinated through NET. That the information is on the website in regards to the consignment details. And for healthcare, of course, that is being done through NHEF, as the National Healthcare Enhancement Foundation. And of course, they deal with all the consignments in terms of medical supplies, etc., on behalf of the hospitals, etc. At the national level, however, there are a number of international donors, non-profitable organizations who are wanting to contribute large amounts of relief as well. Whether it's large or small, it doesn't matter. And that is now being handled by the Office of Disaster and Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODP.
ODPEM.
ODPEM, right.
Not through you.
And not through customs. We coordinate with ODPEM in regards to the inspection and releasing of those goods. However, they have to be consigned through ODPEM, and there is the supportjamaica.gov.jm portal. So international donors are encouraged to visit that website. Of course, it has a long list of items that are needed at the national level, things for rebuilding, things for shelter, and food supplies, etc. All of that is listed there, and they can make that application online now, and they receive the approval, and of course, the details in regards to the consignment.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, if you do not know where to donate, you can go through various charities such as Red Cross, Food for the Poor. You can go through the government website. I'm gonna put up here a link for the government website. So if you're having difficulties finding a charity, just go to this this government link and supportjamaica.gov.jm. Go to that link. There's so many resources there. You can also go to the Jamaica Customs website to find out, what can you ship and what not to ship. They have a list of stuff that they've put up there to say, hey, these are the stuff you should send, and these are the things that are exempt from tariffs and so on and GCT. So go to the Jamaica Customs Agency website and you'll see the list. So, reach out to the Jamaica government, or you can go on the Jamaica Customs website. You'll find a lot of resources there in order to send your stuff in. Also, there's a lot of help going on in terms of organizing here in the United States. There's a benefit concert that's going on right now for December 12th. It's called Jamaica Strong. It's Shaggy and Friends, and these are going to be a whole host of artists in and around the Caribbean and around the world who will be performing at the UBS Arena. That's in Queens, New York. So you got to check it out. You can buy a ticket. You don't necessarily, if you can't make it to the concert or you can't donate, you or send stuff to ship, then you can buy a concert ticket, and that goes to the relief effort in Jamaica. So check this out. Here we go.
Food and water.
So I don't want to be flagged for the music, but you can see this is the Jamaica Strong concert. This is the benefit concert for the relief of Jamaica. So they're raising funds to help to rebuild Jamaica. This is going to be a big concert on December 12th at the UBS Arena in New York City. It's a Jamaica Strong benefit concert. Just buy a ticket. You can go onto the UBS Arena website. I'm going to put that up right now. You can check it out, ladies and gentlemen. The UBS Arena website has the tickets up. Remember the last time in my previous podcast I had checked, it was not there. Now the tickets are on sale and they're going real quick. So you got to jump on and support the effort. I'm telling you, this is a big deal. So let's get that up here in a second. Let's get the UBS Arena ticket. Where to go? Here we go. Okay, so on this website, I'm going to put it up on your screen right now. Let's get to the website. And as you can see, UBS Arena tickets. Let's scroll down to the December 12th. And the tickets, yep, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, right there. So you can see it. Jamaica Strong concert. The tickets are 4% off. Tickets, those are left. I guess you had more discount before, but those fly out the gate real quick. So if you need tickets, you can go onto the UBS Arena website and also other major ticketing agencies. Just check around for the Jamaica Strong concert, UBS Arena. So as you can see, let's go back down to December 12th, Jamaica Strong, UBS Arena, Elmont, New York. So the tickets are up and ready. So hold on, let me click on that so you can see what's going on. Hold on a second. Let's scroll back to it. Here are the tickets. Let's see. Let's see what the price is. Hold on a second. Continue. View tickets. Let's see what's good. Let's view there you go. The tickets are okay. You see the prices. The $3.49. Certain sections, there are different prices depending on the section of the arena you're going in. As you can see, you can choose which section you want to get in at what price. You know, the further away from the stage you are, then, you know, the more the ticket prices. Well, the closer you are to the stage, the more it is. The further away you are, then, you know, the ticket prices get cheaper. But you can buy a ticket and support the event, support the relief effort, that is. So as you can see, and I'm trying to get that on your screen here so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's get that up. All right, so let me get I thought you were seeing that, what I'm seeing, but I got to put it on the screen. So let's get that off and share the other section so you can see what I'm talking. Here we go. So as you can see here, the ticket prices are as follows. Let me get this media. Let me get this away so you can see what's going on there. There you go. So as you can see, the different floors and sections of the arena, the UBS arena, that's what it looks like, you know, on a floor plan level. There's different levels to that, you know, floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So the ticket prices are there. You can see what the ticket prices are. So go on the website and buy your tickets. Go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Support the recovery, the relief and recovery effort of Jamaica. You just can buy a ticket if you are unable to send stuff to Jamaica. You know what I mean? Just buy a ticket and it will help with the relief. So that's all for December 12th. So you have enough time to purchase your tickets, but the tickets are going real fast. So continue to like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. I'll keep this in circulation so you know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a beautiful thing. Also in London, Jamaican National in London is also packing stuff to send there. They're on a rotation with relief and recovery supplies. So that is coming in on a rapid. They're packing. They're working round the clock. I want to share that with you, so you see what's going on there in London, to help with the relief and recovery effort as we speak. So let me get that on the screen. I'm gonna get that up in a second. Let me remove certain things off my screen here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get that going. So I think that's on my other screen. So I'll get that up on the screen here to show you what's going on in London. That's London, England. You can see what they're doing in terms of getting relief stuff in, packing the stuff, separating them, packing them, and trying to get them out to Jamaica as quickly as possible. And you know that's a long trip, right? So let's bring that up.
I'm outside the Jamaican National Bank in Brixton. I've just donated my resources to send for the hurricane relief in Jamaica. So I'm just showing you what the atmosphere is like down here. See how we can come together. Look. There's the truck loading up all the goods. These are all volunteers. All these volunteers are here. See, people are still bringing. So if you need somewhere to bring your donations, please bring it to Jamaican National Bank in Brixton. It's right opposite the police station, just on the Gresham Road. So I've already been in and donated, but I'm just going to go in so that you could get some precise information about what is needed and things to avoid bringing. Volunteer here. I spoke to this lady earlier, and I'm just going to so that you can hear for yourself. Sorry, ma'am.
Yes, sorry.
Please just say it one more time. What is it you mustn't
bring?
Yeah. For clothes.
No clothes, no shoes.
No shoes and no medical supplies.
Yeah.
This week, every day, between
10
what
and
hours
4,
again?
10 and 4.
10 o'clock and 4 o'clock. You can come in the week. Goods. I think on a Wednesday they need volunteers.
We're here Monday through to Saturday, 10 till 4. You leave and we pack on a Sunday.
Right, okay. Guys, so this is where you bring your donations. It's very overwhelming here. This is where the love is. Look. Okay, so guys, please come. Bring. You can. All right, no shoes, no clothes. No medical things. All right. Just giving you an example of what you need to bring. Okay. These things here. Long life milk. Sanitaries. Okay. Thank you, madam. Just giving you an idea of what you need to bring. Okay. All right. So one more time, this is the Jamaican National Bank in the corner, just opposite the Nando's in Brixton. It's Stockwell Road. Stockwell Road here. Alright, so this is a reputable company or organization that will guarantee that your donations are going to go to the right. It doesn't cost a penny. Please bring your donations here and they will deal with all the shipping.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see,
Right, guys.
all around the world, people are coming together to help. So you got to like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. Keep it in circulation. Let people know what's going on. The recovery effort is not over. The relief effort is not over. It's a long haul. People are still suffering. Business places are down. They have no jobs, nowhere to go, no form of income. So they're going to continuously need help until things come back to normal. The government of Jamaica cannot do it by itself. It is far beyond the coffers of the government. We got to help and continuously help, and also coordinate with those, join groups, go and help. If you have a skill, a trade, you have some sort of equipment that can help with the recovery, please do so. Because the faster the country gets back on track, the faster the people can get back to work and get back to being independent. This is not the time for shenanigans. This is not the time to argue and get upset. This is the time to unite and pool our efforts and our resources together to build back stronger. The government is doing what they can, And they're not perfect, neither are you. If we had been paying our taxes, land taxes, and all that good stuff, maybe things would have been different. A little bit more money would have been there. But not everybody does that. We got to understand nobody's perfect. We're not blaming anybody. But we all have to come together and pool our resources together, pool our efforts together, pool everything together, and move in one accord. The more we unite, the stronger we get, and the faster we recover. It's time to unite and move quickly, because time is of the essence. We don't have a lot of that, because the help that we're getting from the US, El Salvador, England, and so on, France, Barbados, you name it. Check it out. I wanted to show you another video with Barbados stepping up to the plate. You get what I'm saying? Barbados stepped up to the plate. And they're sending medical help. That's a beautiful thing. We say hats off to Barbados. That's awesome. Let's get them on the screen right now and show you what's going on with that, with Barbados stepping up to give Jamaica some well-needed help in the medical arena. There's a lot of people suffering down there, and they have decided to step in from the request of the government. Here we go.
And an official request to the government of Barbados for the deployment of the hospital. The purpose of this deployment or this request is to provide, in particular, public health care and emergency health care services to the people of Savannah Lamar, which is the capital of Westmoreland, the Westmoreland Parish in Jamaica. This operation by the and has been named Operation Helping Hands. The mission during Operation Helping Hands will be for the brave volunteers and members of the BDF Field Medical Hospital to provide emergency medical support to the people of Jamaica who are still suffering from the impact of Hurricane Melissa, to replace temporarily the public health care systems normally provided by the Savannah Lamar Public General. The composition of the Field Medical Hospital, as some of you may be aware, the Field Medical Hospital to be fully staffed requires at least 70 medical and logistical technical personnel to staff the Field Medical Hospital for approximately 2 weeks. Currently, the Barbados Defense Force has been able to mobilize a complement of approximately 48 members of the military and also medical practitioners from across public and private healthcare in Barbados. The approximately 22 vacancies filled through the of CARFA and also members of the Jamaica Defense Force.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's a beautiful thing from Barbados. I'm telling you, we welcome it and we say thank you to the government and people of Barbados for helping Jamaica. Unity is strength, ladies and gentlemen. Unity is strength. And as I said, time is of the essence. We got to get back and build back stronger, faster than we can ever imagine. This is the time when many countries are closing their borders around the world. They're tightening up immigration. So when people used to look overseas for jobs, there's a lot of barriers to entry. You don't understand the magnitude of the changes, especially in the United States. I want to share something with you about U.S. immigration. I've not done that in a few podcasts because of the recovery and relief effort, but I wanted to share this with you. because I'm talking about barriers to entry. So for those who even have a visa, or those who are seeking to renew their visas, or they're seeking a visa to come to the United States, there's a few things you got to consider before you get to the visa, to the embassy for that visa. Here we go. Check this out. This is extremely important.
If you're not gonna lose weight, you're not gonna be able to get a US visa. That's what I told my client yesterday. And that's not a joke. There's a new directive that was issued a few days ago by the State Department that expands the rules and the qualifications of people that are coming to the United States. And so that's going to happen forward in 2026 with this new guidance from the department. What are these guidance and what can we do to prepare? Everything in this video. Well, back to Immigration Channel. In this video, we'll talk about the new expanded health criteria that were just released by the State Department. They were internally released by the State Department, but they're working on a final regulation that's going to make it official. But as of now, consulate officers are being directed to expand their criteria as to which medical conditions could disqualify somebody from coming in to the United States. So what happened a few days ago? Well, the State Department issued an internal directive to all officers, including those at embassies and consulates worldwide, directing them, hey guys, when you evaluate visas. Now, we know that medical condition and medical screening has always been an issue. It's always be able to get a visa. If you had a disease or any other communicable diseases, you couldn't get a visa. But this directive expands it to more chronic illnesses like obesity, blood pressure, certain cancers, heart condition, and even mental health condition like severe depression, bipolar. So while this cable still has not been released to the public, we know that these guidelines are currently being implemented by US officers across the world. Why are they doing this? Because they're telling officers they need to assess these applicants to see if they're going to become public charge. They're going to take money from the government because of their medical conditions. What is the likelihood that these conditions will drain the US government? Now, let's talk about these expanded list of medical conditions because there's quite a few of them. Now, before I talk about this and financial capacity assessments and what you can do to prepare for this, to pass those interviews, even if you have some of these conditions, I want to ask you a big favor, guys. If you're watching my videos, but you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so right now. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show these videos to more people just like you. As always, if you need help with your immigration matters, send me a text 619-483-4549 or go to www.immigrationsap.com. Leave your details and one of our team members will contact you ASAP. Now, what are these expanded medical conditions? So the State Department essentially instructed these officers to look at the list of chronic medical conditions that could, if long-term care is needed, could be very expensive and potentially, if the applicants cannot afford it, will drain the US government because they have to pay for it. Some of these conditions are, number one, cardiovascular diseases, any chronic health with your heart or things like that. You had heart bypass, you had a heart transplant, potential, elevated issues with your heart. Those are things they'll be considering. It's not an automatic black and white, but they'll be asking you questions. You have to provide documentation to show what has happened and what the future is going to look like for you. We're looking at respiratory diseases, things that require more treatment, more equipment that is expensive. Those things, they will be asking questions to see what you've done before and what is your plan for the future. Cancers are also on the list. It's the first time that cancers are on the list because, as you know, chemo is expensive. If you don't have health insurance in the United States, people get into trouble, get into debt, and eventually lose it all. People who get cancer, they have no health insurance. This can be up to $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in treatments, and they are going to be looking at that kind of people, figuring out they can afford it, if they have private insurance, and if they don't, it's also going to be neurological disease on that list, and mental health conditions, bipolar, severe depression. All these require very expensive medications, and if you don't have the money or insurance, it's going to be a problem for your visa. But also, they're expanding it even further. They're looking at, well, does this applicant have dependents? So, for example, you're getting a green card through your spouse, and you have a child that potentially could be disabled. Maybe they have some heart conditions, or maybe they had or have cancer. That could also be a factor. Depends on whether you'll get a visa or not if you have dependents that are also ill. Because the way they see it, if you have a child that you have to take care, let's say they have a special condition, special needs child, you won't be able to work, therefore you won't be able to support yourself. Very, very wide, broad power given to these officers to make those determinations. The second thing they're going to do is financial capacity assessment. Under the new guidance, the officer will have to determine if you have financial capacity to come to the United States. And specifically, if you have medical conditions or potential medical conditions, are you be able to take care of this? Or you'll become a public charge and ask money from the US government. And then once again, if you can prove it, you're good. If you can't, it's going to be a complicated process, and your visa probably will be delayed and potentially even refused. And this policy, guys, is departure from the current medical screening, because right now you get a blood test, you go through a medical exam doctor that is assigned by the embassy, and they see if you have anything contagious, communicable diseases like TB and things like that. This is beyond that. This goes further into your health history. They're going to see some records from your doctors and determine whether your depression is okay now, whether your cancer might come back, and things that I don't even know if these officers have the capacity or the ability to do it. These guys are not medical professionals. And so my prediction is that this is going to increase potential scrutiny, and the denial rates is going to go up. Now, it's very important, guys, if you have family members that have any of these conditions, or if you have it, you need to be prepared. You have to show what are you doing to mitigate this. You have to show that, maybe even get private insurance before coming, or showing to the government that this is something that is under control and it's not going to balloon and become an issue, right? So you can do this right now before you apply. So if you do suffer from any heart condition, cancer, or you are going through this process right now, document, show how you're making progress, and be educated about your condition. So when the officers are going to ask you questions, you're going to be able to show them that it's not as bad as they think, and that you are to handle it with the resource that you have, or potentially you'll be able to get. So remember, there's the new things. It is coming. You guys have to be aware of it, because it is going to be impacting a lot of people. Once again, if you need help preparing for any of these visa applications, you send me a text 619.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there's a lot of barriers to entry into the United States. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Welcome to every podcast show. This is Thursday Night Live. And I say to you, tomorrow we'll have Friday Fusion. So I'm going to make some announcements tomorrow night about Courtney Lawrence and Pauline Lawrence's daughter's funeral. It's this weekend. We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to be talking about a few other things like the right spot. That's Misha's right spot. That's coming out. She has something coming up in a few days. We're going to be talking about that on Friday Fusion, and also Peppy Mondays. However, ladies and gentlemen, we say unity is strength right now in Jamaica. That's what we're calling for. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell, and just remember to just do the like right now, or double click if you're on Instagram, or TikTok, just click that like. Share it. Click the notification bell so that you know when this family-friendly show is coming on the air. You can also donate to to the show to keep this family-friendly show alive. So, you know, you can, and I'll share that down below in a minute. Like my screen is acting up. This is acting up, so I'm sure we'll be off the air in a couple of minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to donate to the show, just look down below. In the meantime, thank you for being here, and we'll be here tomorrow night. We call it Friday Fusion. And stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Do remember, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta pray when you're going out. Pray when you're coming in. And remember, God is in control all the time. And we urge each and everyone in Jamaica to unite and pool your resources and he'll help to rebuild Jamaica faster and stronger. Time is of the essence, and the danger is in front. So we need to act quickly and work together as a team. Let's stay off the social media, stay away from the negatives, and concentrate on getting the country back on its foot, because the danger is in front of you. It's in front, ladies and gentlemen, because the longer you take to get things back to normal, the worse things get. So we say, continue to donate, continue to contribute, spread the word, like, share, subscribe. That's the least you can do, as we open the lens to you. We say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here, and we say we always appreciate it. Please pray when you're going out, pray when you're coming in, and always remember, God is in control. See you at the next show, ladies and gentlemen. Our promotions is